Hello and welcome to Veggie Patch Ideas. Today it is one tip per plant what you can do this time of year, so we'll run through them. First of all, Chinese cabbage. Once it gets hot, find somewhere outside, preferably in the shade. It's a cool loving plant, so starting it off in August always has difficulties with it bolting. So what I like to do, I like to move it out of the greenhouse before it gets too hot, put it on this table. They are lovely, they are enjoying the outdoor fresh air in the shade, and at night I'll pop them back in and everything will be sweet. And that also goes for any pak choy or bok choy that you're doing this time of year. Get them cool, keep them out of the heat of the day, and they'll grow on beautifully. Now to those spring onions, they do like a very sunny position and well drained soil, which what this raised bed absolutely gives them in spades. The best tip I can give for these is, if you want maximum growth, put a bit of bloodfish and bone or slow release fertilizer in the soil or sprinkle it over the top. It will do them a world of good, give them that nutrients, because with free draining soil, the nutrients tend to go straight out. So a little bit of bloodfish and bone and these will see you right. And when it gets hot, make sure they're watered. They don't like disparity with the temperatures. So water them well and you're good to go. And then moving on to the kales. If you have started kales off this time of year, great, it's going to see you well. But make sure you check the very top of the stem in case there's any aphid activity. This time of year we always see little black spots on our kales starting to form, and it's just a case of taking a plant and rubbing them off if you can. If you don't catch them in time, it can be disastrous, so try and look for them. You will see some parts of a leaf being eaten, and then you'll see the black dots. And now we're on to our courgette beds, and anything that gets too big and you're not just gonna eat, take it off, stick it in the compost, let those little ones come through, and when they're ready, harvest them. And I just like to twist them off, and that's the size we're looking for, not that. If you've got a load of courgette or zucchini plants that have gone over, just take them off and they will regrow. They will start flowering and producing small ones again. And remember, you want to limit, you want to get rid of the weeds for a start. And remember, you want to limit the amount of leaves that you have on the plant. So this is a good example of neglect. We'll take all the bottom leaves off, and we want to leave around 8 or 10 leaves on the top of the plant. That's all it needs. All these lower leaves, so you can see they've turned white, they just need taking off. And then this plant will start producing as sweet as a nut yet again. As for your cherry tomatoes, they come on absolutely perfect with very little intervention. What you can do though, once they are starting to ripe, and this has got an absolute turn on, pull off a few of the bottom leaves. That's all you need to do. They will just produce and produce and produce. This one has only seen a very small amount of tomato feed, yet it is romping home. So it's time to remove the bottom leaves, get some light onto those fruits, and it will just be a glorious summer harvest for us. Now with the August heat, you can get problems with your lettuce. They can start to bolt, and it just means a shoot comes from the top and it begins to flower. It's then time to take it out completely and replace it with one of your new lettuces which have sown, and they should be about like this now. Take out any bolting lettuces, replace with new, and you will be good to go. Now for your dwarf beans, if they've cropped already, you're probably not going to see another crop out of these. So it's time to take them out of the ground and get some more things planted in. And because they're very small, we can get away with filling this space full of more lettuce or spring onion or even some carrots. And this, just in case you was wondering, the variety Kinghorn Wax, and they are a yellow bean and they taste very, very buttery, really go down nice. They're not tough at all. Absolute great deal. We've had loads off here. What more do you want from such a small space? Now, when it comes to apple trees, these are just loaded with fruit, and really, I don't want that many apples on here. We need a good storm or a good bit of wind to blow half of these off, because what will happen if I leave it full like this, we just won't get any edible apples. They'll all be tiny and they'll be no good. So if you want to eat your apples and you've got a tree that's looking like this, I would half the amount of apples that you have on here. Just take them off and let the wind blow the rest off, and then you may get some edible apples at the end of it. And then if we sneak behind the polytunnel, this is my espaliered pears and espaliered apples. As you can see, all this top growth has happened. I don't want any of it. So it's a case of cutting all the top growth back, letting the light get onto the pears as it is, and letting it breathe again. This is one of those where time slips out of your hands and you just can't do everything. So this is one of my jobs that I need to put at the top of the list, is take up all that top growth, any side growth, just take it all off. If you grow as much broccoli as I do, you'll have some that goes to seed and bolts up. It's just a case of getting a saw and chopping the top off. That way, it'll encourage the plant to start growing new little shoots. New shoots means new broccoli. They'll come through, and hopefully we can get a second harvest out of these before the season's out. And remember, if you get time, always take the bottom leaves off. Try and leave the bottom less susceptible to any sort of slug damage. So bottom leaves off, chop the top, and you're on to a winner. The number one tip for this plant is always harvest the lower leaves first. As the new ones come through, it just makes a far better plant and it keeps that structure. This one hasn't been touched at all, but we are going to harvest and we're going to take these bottom leaves off today. As for things like basil, if it begins to flower, just pick off the tops. As simple as that. It will bush out and it'll keep growing. So pick off a flower, and that's all you need to do with basil. With your tomatoes, just make sure the lower stems are clear, give plenty of light to the fruits that are growing, and this is the most simplest one to do. It just takes no time at all. Make sure it has no side shoots growing in between, and if they are, just pick them out and it'll encourage the growth to go straight up. And remember guys, your onions should be out of the ground now and ready for drying. And I keep these in my shed. It's very dark in there. It just dries them out lovely. They are lovely and crisp at the minute. Here's some I did the other day and they're just sitting in the polytunnel drying. These will store really well. That's all from me, and we'll catch you on the next video.